You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the Better Business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Ever tried balancing a dozen eggs in one hand while hopping on one foot? Or maybe juggling cats while riding the unicycle? Sounds ridiculous, right? But guess what? That's exactly what texting while driving is like. Your human brain only has the capacity to focus on one thing at a time. So when you're behind the wheel, give driving your undivided attention.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. From the Chicagoland to lands afar. With Derrick Geyer, your sports czar. The game's the place from field to rink. Hot debates, fast takes, no time to blink. The Windy City roar, the fans ignite. Your circus of sports under radio light. Big Time Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. I'm your host, Derrick Geyer, and you are listening to River Media Network Sports. And thank you for tuning in today. That was Dino's Night Out featuring the band of Rick Lindy and the Wild Ones. So how the hell is everyone doing on this TGIFF Friday? Well, if you don't know what that second F is, I can't help you out. If you know, you know. And with it being Friday, you know that tomorrow's Bears-Packers game is set to go off. Ooh-wee, 7 o'clock, you could hear the pregame show on these very airwaves from 5 until game time. And then listen on these airwaves for the game. Then post-game show, get post-game takes as well. I'm sure one way or another there will be either positive or negative feedback for that. That is for damn certain. We're supposed to have a guest on today, but unfortunately there was a scheduling conflict, so hopefully we'll be able to get that squared away for next week. But, I mean, as I've just said, we've got the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Woodpeckers, the Green Bay Fudge Packers, the Green Bay, whatever, taking place this Saturday at Soldier Field. And if you want to be a part of this discussion, please feel free to call in at 847-931-1410. That is 847-931-1410. And you could see my beautifully tired face once again on youtube.com at WRMN Radio. That's youtube.com at WRMN Radio. So let's see. Let's get to the injury report for the Chicago Bears right off the jump. C.J. Gardner-Johnson out, concussion. Amen Abongmigaga. No, that is not how I say that. Agbongbamiga. He is out, linebacker for the Chicago Bears. He's out also with a concussion. Joe Tryon Shoinka out with a concussion. Now we got Kyler Gordon, questionable for tomorrow's game, DB. Braxton Jones, questionable for tomorrow. But it is nice to see that we have Grady Jarrett, Jalen Jones. Jalen Jones, okay. Nick McLeod, DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Ozzie Trapillo, and Jade Walker. They were all full participants in practice, and they are all good to go for tomorrow's game, which is good because basically, well, Bears have been the walking wounded. The question going in for myself and probably a lot of Chicago Bears fans over this course of the week is how well that vaunted defense is going to be playing for the Chicago Bears. Whether or not they're going to be able to step up, step in, get right. I mean, if you cannot get right, and you've probably even heard tight end Cole Kmet talking about the words that Ben Johnson has said at the very beginning of the week. If you are not here, and I'm paraphrasing here, of course, if you are not here and you are not ready to play another 5 weeks of football, then don't show up to play. And that is the kind of response, the kind of action that I would expect from Ben Johnson to have going into this game. Because make no mistake about it, he has been the difference for this Chicago Bears team for such a quick turnaround. We head over to the other side of the team that the Chicago Bears are going to be playing on Saturday, and it is the Green Bay Woodpeckers, Fudgepackers, however you want to classify them. The green and, pea green and caca gold or whatever it is that their colors are. Yeah, I'm not ashamed, whatever. So guard, Aaron Banks, he's full go. Warren Brinson, defensive tackle, he's questionable. Javon Bullard, questionable. That's a strong free safety. We also have Nick Neiman, linebacker, questionable. Zach Tom, guard, questionable. Malik Willis, the backup QB, questionable. He's still suffering from that shoulder injury from a couple weeks back. But let's see. We've also, who is out? Don Tavian Wicks, wide receiver. He is suffering from a concussion, so he is out. But let's see. Aaron Banks, guard, full participant. He's go. Edrin Cooper, linebacker, good to go. Matthew Golden, wide receiver. He's good to go. And Lucas Van Ness, defensive end, good to go as well. So, I mean, it's win or go home, and I'm not ready to pack my bags up yet. After the football season is over with, I will be taking a little bit of a siesta, a little bit of a break, hitting the tropical islands. But hell, we're still in Chicago Bears season right now, so freaking bear down if you aren't already. I mean, I don't know how you cannot be a Chicago Bears fan and be absolutely set on level 12 out of 10 right now. Although with here, let me check what the weather report for tomorrow's Bears game will be. I know it's going to be nasty because right now it is relatively nice outside, nice and sunny, but this is going to change probably around midnight or 1 in the morning. And the temperatures are going to be in the low 30s. Chilly conditions, windy, light snow showers, rain. So that field is going to be a muck. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a pigsty. Players are going to be slipping and sliding all over the place. So if the Chicago Bears, I'm just theorizing here right now. I don't know what Ben Johnson's game plan is. I run the ball. Run the ball. Back in my day, there was no passing. Run the damn ball. And then build off of it. Build off of it and do the, play action passes, the orbit motions and all that fun stuff, or, whatever. But yeah, run it, and run it again. And when you're thinking about passing it, run it again, run it some more. Because make no mistakes about it. If the Bears are able, if the offensive line is able to knock around the Packers D-line for tomorrow's game, it should be a Bears victory in theory. Should be a Bears victory in theory. And then you're also talking about the opportunistic aspect of whether it be the linebackers or the cornerbacks, free safeties, strong safeties, et cetera. Well, Jordan Love back in after missing a couple of games with that concussion. Sorry, not sorry. It was a clean hit. I don't care what they say. You know what wasn't a hit? That hit by Nixon on DJ Moore. Not a clean hit. No penalty flags. So I would imagine that there is a fair amount of get back for both teams. This is game number 3 between these two teams in this season, and nothing is more important than this game tomorrow. So with that being said, I'm going to toss it to break real quick, collect my thoughts going forward, and we'll get into a little bit more Bears and Packers talk, because great googly moogly, there has been a lot of talk from the cheeseheads up north about this upcoming Bears-Packers game on Saturday. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. Back in a few.
Are you suffering with anxiety, depression, PTSD, an eating disorder, or even a substance abuse problem? If it's causing problems at work or with your family, get help now at Insight Mental Health and Wellness. We can help and treat all types of depression and mental issues. We'll help you use your insurance to get away from it all to a beautiful, sunny, and tranquil vacation-like environment so you can recharge yourself. And with the Family Medical Leave Act, you could take the time off you need from work. Plus, with the Affordable Care Act, your treatment could be 100% covered. If you're suffering from any kind of anxiety, depression, PTSD, eating disorder, or even a substance abuse problem, use your insurance and get away from it all. Come to sunny California. Call Insight Mental Health and Wellness now. 800-419-0287. 800-419-0287. 800-419-0287. That's 800-419-0287.
The road ahead can be unpredictable, but with the right partner, you're always moving forward. At Heartland Bank in Hampshire, we're with you. Every mile, every milestone. From savings to small business lending, we offer local decisions and personal service that gets you where you're going. Stop in at 819 Warner Street or call 847-683-4444. Heartland Bank, proud sponsor of America's First Responders Fest.
Listen this Sunday afternoon to Handle on the Law.
I know we're at an at-will date, but for making a comment, like, hey, your hair looks good. And then I got a call from HR saying, hey, you know what? You're under investigation. Do I have any recourse?
Were you fired?
No, not yet.
The problem, Eddie, is they can fire you for any reason they want. They literally can wake up in the morning and say, you know what? I'm a little bored this morning. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to fire Eddie for no reason. Yep, he can do that. Yeah, that's California. Yep, welcome.
It's Handle on the Law this Sunday afternoon from 4 to 7 right here on WRMN.
Children are the greatest joy and our best hope for a better future. Friends, they are the future. But did you know that millions of kids right here in our own backyard are facing hunger every day? Without healthy food, it's harder to grow, to thrive, to feel their best.
The impact when children don't have enough to eat is tremendous because when you're hungry and your basic needs aren't being met, you cannot learn.
Every child deserves to be fed. This is a problem we know how to solve. Food is not just food. It's energy, health, confidence, hope, and even love. Yes, love.
Breakfast in the classroom contributes to kids being more focused, which leads to higher grades, and simply just their well-being.
Thank you! Learn more about how No Kid Hungry is helping end child hunger in America at helpnokidhungry.org.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer, River Media Network Sports. Yeah, I know. I get a little smurf from Elliot the L Train Serrano on the WRMN morning show for not doing it the way that they do it, but that's all right. I walk to the beat of my own drum. I am able to take everything, well, more or less with a grain of salt. You come at me, I'm going to come at you, but I don't necessarily mind one way or the other. And as far as, I'm trying to look it up, and as much as it was, all I know is that the Green Bay Woodpeckers, the Green Bay Fudge Packers, the Green Bay Packers are more or less chomping at the bit to have a get-back game against the Chicago Bears. Now, if you are a Chicago Bears fan and you are living north of the Illinois border and you are in Cheesehead land, what's it like up there? What are you experiencing? Because I would imagine that there is a lot of Smurf talk going on between both fan bases, between the Bears and Packers fans. If you want to jump in and talk about that, that's 847-931-1410, 847-931-1410. Or you could comment on the YouTube at youtube.com at WRMN Radio. That's youtube.com at WRMN Radio. And I know one player for not for the Chicago Bears, but for the Green Bay Packers, Nixon. You know that guy, the DB that hit DJ Moore in the back, no penalty, no nothing, but he wants a revenge game. He wants to have this game go, obviously in favor of his team and the Packers, but in his mind right now, the series, or he is 1-1. So he was the one that picked off Caleb Williams in the end zone at the end of that Week 16 game, where it looked like Caleb Williams might have put on that Superman cape again and did his 7th come-from-behind victory this year. But alas, it was just an interception, an underthrown ball, and they lost. But 2 weeks later, man, Iceman cometh to play. Or Warriors come out to play, yay, Warriors. Okay, I'm not here to sing. I'm here to talk about sports. So my humblest and deepest apologies for assailing your ears on that one. But yeah, a whole bunch of Packers are talking a whole bunch of Smurf in regards to, they don't want, we're going to play because the Packers were the 7th seed. They were set to be the 7th seed. They rested all of their key components, all their key players in week 18, drawing the ire of one Ben Johnson. And he's been an entertaining aspect of things throughout the season. Through his introductory press conference with the Chicago Bears, saying that he likes to beat Matt LaFleur twice in a season. Well, this is the 3rd time. Right now it's 1-1. I would very much like it to come down to beating him a second time during this season. So there is that. But where can you, a little bit of history, if you will, and it is recent history. So the Green Bay Packers are set to take on the Chicago Bears in the NFC wildcard playoff game this Saturday on January 10th at Soldier Field. Winner advancing, winner go home, winner making off-season vacation arrangements. Packers with the 7 seed, Bears the NFC North champs. And make no mistake about it, the Green Bay Packers are looking to put the Bears to bed this season. And it kind of surprised me that they were so open about it. No, we don't want to play the Philadelphia Eagles in the first round. We want to play the Bears. And then we could play Philadelphia, and we could beat Philadelphia. Of course, I'm paraphrasing. But, I mean, I really hope that the Bears take it to heart. Because I know for, I'll say, 95% fact that the Bears are thinking the exact same thing with this game looming. It's just as simple as that. The longest and biggest rivalry in the NFL. 2 of the franchises that spawned the NFL. The business-like approach that the Chicago Bears have had this week. And I am firmly believing that has to do with Ben Johnson and his coaching staff. Let them talk. We're going to go out on the field and we are going to handle business. Now, one of the things that I hope happens, and I've been saying this all week on this show, the WRMN morning show with Susie C. and Elliot the L Train Serrano yesterday morning, was Caleb Williams. He has his Avengers on the offensive line. If Caleb Williams is, let's say, Iron Man or Ice Man or whatever, I'm not really sure, how he views himself. But in my mind, that makes Ben Johnson Doctor Strange. And you know how Doctor Strange operates, right? He's able to control things. He's able to get into people's minds to make them think different things, to give them different ideas and Scooby-Doo this Smurf. Well, please, oh please, Mr. Ben Johnson, Mr. Doctor Strange, Scooby-Doo this Smurf and make it so Caleb Williams and the offense and the coaching staff and the whole entirety of the Chicago Bears come out and play in the first quarter like it is the fourth quarter, where they are down by 17 and you need this gigantic comeback. But it's in the first quarter, so they come out like a house on fire and they take care of business and put points up on the board. For the love of God, for the love of the Bears fans, please take care of business and Scooby-Doo this Smurf. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports here in WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer.
With your news flash, I'm Ryan Gatenby, brought to you by Progressive. Governor J.B. Pritzker has signed sweeping energy legislation aimed at lowering electricity costs by expanding battery storage and boosting wind and solar power across Illinois. Supporters say the law will strengthen the power grid, while Republicans warn it could raise costs for consumers. The Trump administration is freezing $10 billion in funding for programs supporting low-income families and child care in 5 Democratic-led states. About $1 billion in aid to Illinois is affected, with Governor J.B. Pritzker calling the move politically motivated. Prosecutors say Travion H. Reese of Atlanta stole identities and checks from local business owners, defrauding banks across central and southern Illinois. Reese faces a 70-month federal prison sentence following a 20-year term on similar charges in Iowa. I'm Ryan Gatenby with your news flash.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's Renter's Insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the 4 walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone, get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When tragedy strikes, you need more than a lawyer, you need a voice. Romanucci and Blandon fight for justice in cases of personal injury, wrongful death, civil rights, and medical malpractice. With over $1 billion recovered, their results speak loud. Call 312-458-1000 or visit rblaw.net. That's 312-458-1000. Romanucci and Blandon, national impact, personalized care. No fee unless they win. Proud supporter of America's First Responders Fest.
Building a house is hard, but have you tried removing one? Flood Brothers takes the mess out of demolition. With fast roll-off dumpster delivery, reliable debris pickup, and a family-owned team that takes service personally. Call 630-261-0400 or visit floodbrothersdisposal.com. Flood Brothers Disposal, proud sponsor of America's First Responders Fest.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blade. This afternoon, partly sunny with a high near 44. Tonight, rain likely between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., then rain and snow likely, mostly cloudy with a low around 32. Looking ahead to Saturday, snow before noon, then a chance of snow showers, mostly cloudy with a high near 35. Currently, it is 41 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I took the gas hose out of my car's tank. Ooh, not smart. And I drove off while still attached to pump number 3.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. running swift and true. Sports carousel spinning just for you. Big time sports feel the roar, where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. So the Chicago Bulls and the Miami Heat were set to square off yesterday. Well, that didn't happen. Chicago Bulls with a 17-20 record and currently sitting in the 10th spot in the Eastern Conference. Well, there was a little bit of a kerfuffle in yesterday's game. That being, the game was supposed to start at 7 o'clock at the United Center here in Chicago. And there was a little bit of court issues. Now, if you are tuning in on the Tube of Views at WRMN Radio, you can see what I am talking about. This is courtesy of the dailymail.co.uk. Kind of go to them and go to out of region. Definitely out of region on this one because this is all the way in the UK. Another country for this, but they also, the reason why I like to do this is because there's basically an unbiased opinion on this. So here we are, I'm looking at the crew that basically set up the floor for the Chicago Bulls game. And it's worth noting that the wood floor is on top of the ice surface that the Chicago Blackhawks use because they are cohabitating in the same building. Chicago Blackhawks played the night before against the St. Louis Sucks Blues. And after the game, they put down their rubber matting over the ice. They take down the boards. They put down the rubber matting over the ice, and they put down the floorboards and everything. But in this picture, you see the crew with their dry mops trying to soak up the condensation that is currently happening and going through the floorboards and the playing surface of the basketball court. Now, the thing that was an issue, well, other than the condensation and everything, and the reason why it happened was because, well, yesterday it was a 50-degree day. And nice day, right? 50 degrees out there in the city, gorgeous as Chicago is when it is a nice day. So with that being said, the hockey game the night before, the process of getting the court and everything ready, and then as soon as the patrons, and the patrons being the Chicago Bulls and or Miami Heat fans, going into the stadium at the United Center, all of a sudden it creates the influx of heat, and it's just you know what a weather system is, right? When the hot meets the cold, or the cold weather meets the hot weather, you get the condensation on the windows of your cars, or you get the mistiness, fog, etc., and it causes the condensation. Or just think of it like this. You're out in the backyard on a nice summer day. You've got your libation in hand. What happens with the cold drink on the hot day? You get all the condensation on the outside of your glass from the mix of temperatures, from the mix of the extreme temperatures. And that's basically what happened yesterday. And they were unable to combat it. So league officials decided to put the Knicks on yesterday's game. Just for the simple fact that, well, it's unsafe for their millions of dollars of, franchise players and everything to play. Now, the bad part is, and I know I would be pissed, is that the game was supposed to start at about 7 o'clock last night. At about 7:50 p.m., now if I'm doing my math right, that's 50 minutes after, the game was supposed to start, the players and coaches returned to their dressing room and the floor was cleared to allow the workers to attempt to dry the surface using mops and towels and whatever that they could use to alleviate the issues. And then about an hour later, at 8:53 p.m., the game was officially postponed. Now, the United Center is one of the largest, or I think it is the largest basketball viewing venue in the NBA. Max capacity somewhere around 21,000, 22,000 people. And with it being the type of matchup that it was yesterday, I'm pretty sure that the house was packed. And after almost 2 hours of sitting there waiting for the game to start, the game was officially postponed at 8:53 p.m., causing, and I think rightfully so, prompting some angry boos from the crowd. Now, if you've been down to the United Center on a game night for a Chicago Bulls game or a Blackhawks game, and you're going down there, and then, okay, the game gets postponed, and you've been sitting there, and you're waiting for a good time to happen, and the libations are flowing, the food is, you're hungry, you're eating because, well, you don't want to eat on, or you don't want to be drinking on an empty stomach, all that fun stuff. You're paying $500. Oh, I don't know how much the cost of a beer is there these days, but you're paying an exorbitant amount of money for libations and food. I mean, hell, what was it? Last year when I was there and I decided to get rum and Coke, rum and Coke. And I paid for 2 drinks, essentially 3 shots of rum, and it was $48 for 2 drinks. Not a big deal because, hey, okay, the game was free. I got free tickets, and it was a good game, even though the Bulls, sucked in the fourth quarter. But even still, and getting there last minute because, well, it was kind of a last minute deal. And I was trying to hook up with the person that I was going with. $40 for tickets. Or I'm sorry, not $40 for tickets. $40 for parking at one of the nearby lots, right? And then another $48 for 2 drinks. Well, I'm not a mathematician, but that's $88. So I can only imagine, unless the Chicago Bulls or the United Center. And I really highly doubt this because obviously this is their moneymaker and this is, how they are able to pay for stuff and make money. I highly doubt that there's going to be parking vouchers or any of other vouchers given to the Chicago Bulls or maybe even Miami Heat fans that went there and were in attendance for this because, well, too bad, so sad. You're just going to have to come back and you're just going to have to spend a little bit more money for this game at a later date. That would probably be one of my main issues as far as that goes. Because if you are a family and you are budgeting and you really wanted to see the Chicago Bulls play a game, or maybe you circled this game on the calendar against the Miami Heat, and this game did not happen, and after nearly 2 hours of being there, probably over 2 hours because the stadium packs up at least a half an hour before game time, so 6:30 to 8:53 p.m., and the game finally gets canceled, or I'm sorry, postponed. I could only imagine how much money you've already spent on that. Whether, if you are a family of four going there, well, damn, right there. Family of four, call it on the more reasonable side, maybe $400 for the tickets, $40 for parking. Well, you got to get your kids something to eat. You got to get the $15 worth of popcorn, the $10 worth of soda, or maybe even like the $15 souvenir cup soda. I mean, you're talking close to $600 to $700 for the whole experience. And then you're talking $300 on top of the tickets that you've already purchased, right? To have the game postponed and then do it all over again at a later date to spend another $300, which maybe you're on a tight budget, maybe you're not. I don't know, but I'm going with being the situation and today's lifestyle and the way that things are in this day and age. You probably budgeted it out, I would imagine. So I could understand the ire with that. You're currently listening to Big Top Sports with yours truly, Derrick Geyer, on WRMN 1410 AM. More after this break.
Are you dreaming of a getaway? Want to leave the stress of daily life behind? Whether it's a relaxing cruise or an adventurous land escape, planning the perfect vacation doesn't have to be a hassle. At Cruises International, they specialize in vacation destinations, land and sea, making your dreams come true. Located at 1721 Moon Lake Boulevard in Hoffman Estates, Cruises International isn't just about booking travel. They're your personal concierge, trusted travel advisor, and advocate. Your preferences are unique, and they'll take the time to understand exactly what you're looking for. From personalized service to their global network of specialists, they ensure that your vacation is tailor-made just for you. It's time to plan the vacation of a lifetime. Call 800-255-7447. That's 800-255-7447 today and speak to a cruise and vacation expert. Cruises International. It's time to set sail to your dream destination.
Kids today live in a world full of social pressure, bullying, and substance abuse. LEAD has a solution. LEAD connects law enforcement agencies with schools to deliver tested, proven, and effective anti-drugs and violence training to kids. Learn more about LEAD, Law Enforcement Against Drugs and Violence, and our work to create safer, healthier communities at leadrugs.org or on social media at We Are LEAD. Sponsored by LEAD, Inc.
Building a house is hard, but have you tried removing one? Flood Brothers takes the mess out of demolition. With fast roll-off dumpster delivery, reliable debris pickup, and a family-owned team that takes service personally. Call 630-261-0400 or visit floodbrothersdisposal.com. Flood Brothers Disposal, proud sponsor of America's First Responders Fest.
Now available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com is the book called DUI Jury Trial, which is the true story of a truck driver in Illinois who was charged with driving under the influence of alcohol. Not only was he facing a revocation of his driver's license, but also a lifetime disqualification of his CDL, which would prevent him from ever driving a semi-truck again. This book includes backstories of the truck driver, the lawyers that defended the case, and the DUI expert witness who analyzed the case and then testified at trial as to the proper protocol procedures of the field sobriety tests as well as the breathalyzer test. This nonfiction novel also includes the actual court transcript from the jury trial, a courtroom showdown in which the final verdict would determine the fate of the defendant's livelihood. The book DUI Jury Trial is now available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. Big Top Sports, feel the roar, where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports with yours truly, Derrick Geyer, here on WRMN 1410 AM. Oh, we already dealt with, or we already, I wouldn't exactly say dealing with, but we already had one Blackhawks legend pass earlier this week, and that was Bob Pulford, who was, NHL Hall of Famer. And then we also had the sad news and the sad passing of a legend for the Chicago Blackhawks in it of itself. Glenn Hall passed away this week as well. Glenn Hall was a goaltender. If you are a younger fan, you may not know this, but Glenn Hall, born in 1931, died earlier this week. And so I'm reading from the press release from the Chicago Blackhawks, and in the statement from the Blackhawks chairman and CEO Danny Wirtz, the Chicago Blackhawks are deeply saddened to learn of the passing of Glenn Hall, one of the greatest and most influential goaltenders in the history of our sport and a cornerstone of our franchise. During his decade in Chicago, he became the backbone of the Chicago Blackhawks, leading the team to their 1961 Stanley Cup championship. Known affectionately as Mr. Goalie, Glenn's legacy is monumental. He was an innovator, introducing the butterfly style that revolutionized the position and influenced generations of future goaltenders and would-be goal scorers alike. His recognitions are benefiting of a career defined by excellence and invention, inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame and honored as one of NHL's 100 greatest players. But it was his consistency and leadership for which he was most revered. His Ironman run of 502 consecutive complete games stands as one of the most remarkable feats in all of professional sports and remains unmatched to this day in the NHL. Glenn's number 1 jersey hangs proudly in the United Center rafters, a permanent tribute to his enduring impact on the Blackhawks and the game. On behalf of the Wirtz family and the entire Chicago Blackhawks organization, we extend our deepest condolences to Glenn's family, friends, and countless teammates and supporters who loved him. We are grateful for his extraordinary contributions to hockey and to our club, and we will honor his memory today and always. And once again, that was a statement released from the Blackhawks chairman and CEO, Danny Wirtz. And to speak on a couple of things in this press release. The butterfly style, in which you could still very much see in today's game in the NHL by a majority, if not all, of the goaltenders. So when he was playing back in the day, and you're talking about goal scorers and people just basically sliding the puck in under the goalie's pads. Because make no mistake about it, there have been numerous changes to the equipment, to the style of play, bigger, faster, stronger players, goaltenders going post to post, making ridiculous highlight reel saves. It wasn't like this back in 1961. It wasn't back when Glenn Hall was playing. You didn't have the curved sticks. You had wooden sticks. You didn't have the composite sticks that weigh less than a feather and are able to get players like Connor Bedard or Patrick Kane or any of the great scorers in this day and age, the snap and the torque on it. No. Goaltenders weren't as athletic as they are now. Goes without saying that the more things change, or the more advancement that there is, the more things change. He was able to cover the bottom of the net better, which obviously revolutionized the way that goaltenders went forward. Was able to stop more shots. And then this is another thing that will also probably never be broken. This record will probably never, ever be broken. His 502 consecutive complete games. The current season is 82 games, right? I'm no mathematician, but that's close to 4 complete seasons. And they didn't play 82 games back then. It was I think it was around somewhere around the mark of 70, maybe 68 games. So you're talking seasons worth of being in at net. Maybe one day it will be broken, but I really don't think so, considering the fact that if a goaltender plays on back-to-back nights, that's unusual. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM.
Hi there, Tammy Scully here from Talk Time with Tammy and Friends. Join me and my sidekicks, Nancy and Becky, for valuable lifestyle tips and unique views and insights on interesting topics and everyday situations, providing nonstop fun and chuckles for all. Get the scoop on consumer news, deep dive on current events, and learn about the newest economic trends. From exercise and gardening to music, travel, recipes, sports, pets, real estate, media, and everything in between. And it's all sprinkled with a healthy helping of bad dad jokes and interesting fun facts to boot. Tune in Mondays through Thursdays from 2 to 4 p.m. for a little fun, frolic, and infotainment. Join us, won't you?
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410 Elgin time.
With your news flash, I'm Ryan Gatenby. Brought to you by Progressive. The Trump administration is freezing $10 billion in funding for programs supporting low-income families and child care in 5 Democratic-led states. About $1 billion in aid to Illinois is affected, with Governor J.B. Pritzker calling the move politically motivated. Prosecutors say Travion H. Reese of Atlanta stole identities and checks from local business owners, defrauding banks across central and southern Illinois. Reese faces a 70-month federal prison sentence following a 20-year term on similar charges in Iowa. Governor J.B. Pritzker has signed sweeping energy legislation aimed at lowering electricity costs by expanding battery storage and boosting wind and solar power across Illinois. Supporters say the law will strengthen the power grid, while Republicans warn it could raise costs for consumers. I'm Ryan Gatenby with your news flash.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Gradual breakers. You keep your eyes on the road, so you've seen it all. As long as it all happened directly in front of you, like a Swedish masseuse, your foot knows exactly the right amount of pressure to apply to the brake. That's why your passengers feel totally relaxed with you behind the wheel and occasionally super sleepy. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
From the pages of the Elgin newspapers of 100 years ago today, these are the headlines brought to you by the Elgin History Museum.
I'm Nick Freeman, and here's what was happening in Elgin, our fair city, on January 8, 1926. The exceedingly slippery conditions of a number of residential streets last night caused numerous reports to police of abandoned and stolen cars. Streets in the business section of the city were reported fairly free from ice and slush, and automobile traffic moved with approximate safety. The streets in the residence section, however, where snow had not been removed, was covered with water, forming a slush over which it was very difficult and dangerous to drive. A great number of cars were parked at each of the various churches prior to the storm. Their removal after church resulted in a topsy-turvy, tangled lineup of automobiles, some of which skidded into tree banks. In all cases, however, the cars were unscrambled without mishap to their owners or occupants. 2 cars were also reported abandoned at Oak and Handy Streets, owned by Elmer Stemway Weedle and J.F. Burnlow. Officers Buckhorn and Johnson reported the cars had been left because of slippery streets. A report was also received that 4 cars had skidded down the Walnut Avenue Hill at the same time, coming to a halt on the northwestern tracks. None of the occupants was injured.
Elgin 100 Years Ago is a presentation of the Elgin History Museum. Be sure to visit the museum located at 360 Park Street in Elgin, open Wednesday through Saturdays 11 to 4. You can also listen to Elgin 100 Years Ago at www.elginhistory.com.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Brought to you by Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blade. This afternoon, partly sunny with a high near 44. Tonight, rain likely between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., then rain and snow likely, mostly cloudy with a low around 32. Looking ahead to Saturday, snow before noon, then a chance of snow showers, mostly cloudy with a high near 35. Currently, it is 41 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I took the gas hose out of my car's tank. Ooh, not smart. And I drove off while still attached to pump number 3.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers' rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-509-TERM. 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 Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-234-0316. 800-234-0316. That's 800-234-0316.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. From the Chicagoland to lands afar. With Derrick Geyer, your sports czar. The game's a place from field to rink. Hot debates, fast takes, no time to blink. The Windy City roar, the fans ignite. Your circus of sports under radio light. Big time sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. All right, so where do we go from here? You know what? I think we go with this. If you want to call in and talk anything sports or get your sports talks off, Chicago Bulls, Blackhawks, White Sox, Cubs, where am I missing something? White Sox, Bulls, Cubs, Blackhawks. There we are. Feel free to call in at 847-931-1410, 847-931-1410. Sorry, the squirrels were running the asylum there for a second. Or if you want to see my lovely face, go to youtube.com at WRMN Radio, youtube.com at WRMN Radio. And the reason why I was a little late on putting back the screen there on the YouTube, you can't really see that if you're listening out in your cars going home from work. Hey, thank you for tuning in, by the way. And hopefully I'm making your drive home a little bit more bearable on this TGIFF. If you know what the extra F is, you know. Plain and simple. But the reason why I was like a little kerfuffle coming back in is, looking at the hot stove, if you will, for Major League Baseball free agency and everything. And one of the news articles that came up was that as of January 9th, which is, well, that's today, the Toronto Blue Jays have reportedly agreed to a monumental contract with Chicago Cubs superstar outfielder Kyle Tucker. This move is considered, okay, so big news as far as that goes, but I cannot see anyone or any other news outlet, reporting on this. So until I actually see other news outlets reporting on this, I can't necessarily say this because this is coming from the whole AI overview thing on the Google machine. But apparently, this agreement is somewhere, and as far as I know, this is not legitimate or this is not confirmed as of yet, but it's supposed to be worth 10 years, $405 million, largest in Blue Jays franchise history, and also way out of the purse strings of the Chicago Cubs. So as I find out a little bit more about this, I will comment a little bit more about this. But, I mean, make no mistake about it. I was talking with Matt Cozy from Locked On Cubs, the Locked On Network on Locked On Cubs yesterday in regards to Kyle Tucker and the potential free agents that are out there for the Chicago Cubs. And we both came to the conclusion that Kyle Tucker was not going to be a part of the Cubs moving forward in the 2026 season. And especially when the Chicago Cubs are not interested in doing a Jason Hayward-like contract in years, I should say. Not so much the dollar amount, but, I mean, they have grown mighty skeptical as far as the years and the exorbitant contract for that. But, hey, if he's getting $405 million over 10 years, making him a $40+ million a year player, well, by all means, good luck, Toronto. Good luck adding that piece. And I will happily take Bo Bichette in this offseason, assuming that the Cubs are somehow, some way able to make another free agent deal and or trade and or whatever. But I mean, yeah, $405 million. They're definitely flexing their muscle up north of the border in Toronto. And if this is the case, and if this is not a rumor and this is actually happening, wow, it's a great time to be a Toronto Blue Jays fan. That is for damn certain. It's kind of like the Los Angeles Dodgers or the Philadelphia Phillies. And you have the owners that want to open up their purse strings and bring in the talent. Excuse me. But, I mean, Matt Cozy, I'm sorry, Matt. Matt Cozy yesterday was pointing out that the Cubs haven't been cheap. And they haven't. But it just seems that way because of the lackluster trade deadline last year. We don't know the exorbitant price tags on what free agent talent would have been. I mean, it would have been nice because you probably weren't expecting Cade Horton to go down right before playoff time. One of the best pitchers in all of last year's last half of the season for the Cubs and in Major League Baseball, for that matter. But right now, I do believe the price in tea in China, well, has gone up. And with that being said, who are the key cogs or the key bats or the key acquisitions that the Chicago Cubs are looking for? And as a Cubs fan, admittedly, or maybe not admittedly until I actually speak this truth, I think the Chicago White Sox are having a much better offseason in acquiring talent thus far. I don't know. I just sit here behind this microphone. I'm a fan. I am not in any of the boardrooms or the meeting rooms with any of the top brass talking about this, but if you want to call in and comment on any of this, feel free to call in at 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. Or chime in on the tube of yous at WRMN Radio. See my lovely face. That's youtube.com at WRMN Radio. And before I was going to go down the Kyle Tucker possible signing with the Toronto Blue Jays, I was going to talk a little bit more about the Chicago Blackhawks because there was a trade that was made yesterday, and I do feel like the powers that be for the Chicago Blackhawks are trying to make a push and secure a little bit of veteran talent. Well, they did that. But to actually capitalize a little bit more on the fact that the Chicago Blackhawks are currently on a 4-game winning streak. They traded away a couple of players that were seemingly, well, not of use to the big club. But I will be talking about that on the other side of this break. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports with Derrick Geyer on WRMN 1410 AM. Back in a few.
Get ready for Around the House every Saturday night from 5 to 7 p.m. on WRMN AM 1410. If you're a homeowner or contractor looking to tackle those projects that feel a bit too big, this is the show for you. Join Eric along with his knowledgeable guests as they dive deep into everything from DIY renovations to creating a healthy home environment. We'll provide you with the tools and tips you need to complete your projects with confidence and ease. But it's not all work and no play. We believe in having fun. Our passion for home improvement shines through as we help you save time, money, and reduce the stress of DIY. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, don't miss Around the House. Tune in every Saturday night and let's tackle those home projects together.
The road ahead can be unpredictable, but with the right partner, you're always moving forward. At Heartland Bank in Hampshire, we're with you every milestone. From savings to small business lending, we offer local decisions and personal service that gets you where you're going. Stop in at 819 Warner Street or call 847-683-4444. Heartland Bank, proud sponsor of America's First Responders Fest.
This year, America's First Responders Fest 2025 was a huge success, and we couldn't have done it without the Village of Burlington and Village President Mary Kay Welsen. Your support helped bring the Fox River Valley together in the Village of Hampshire to celebrate the heroes who keep us safe every day. Thank you, Village of Burlington, for standing behind America's First Responders Fest 2025 and for standing with those who serve.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone in your community, or just taking a deep, calming breath when you need it. Nice. For mental health resources, check out loveyourmindtoday.org. At loveyourmindtoday.org, you'll find information that may help you get through a tough time. Things like tips for dealing with stress, how to navigate difficulties like financial worries, anger, substance use, and more. You can also find real stories of how people navigated their own mental health challenges. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports with yours truly, Derrick Geyer, on WRMN Radio, 1410 AM, Elgin. Well, as I prefaced it before, Chicago Blackhawks did make a trade yesterday, but even more important news. Connor Bedard, the Blackhawks, as of 1:30 this afternoon, the Chicago Blackhawks have announced that Connor Bedard has been activated from injured reserve. And doing a little bit of additional research, he will be playing tonight against the Washington Capitals and the Great Eight, Alex Ovechkin. So in a press release from Chicago Blackhawks Communications, Chicago Blackhawks today announced that the team has activated forward Connor Bedard from the upper body injury that he had suffered. Additionally, the team has also recalled defenseman Kevin Korchinski, goaltender Drew Commesso from the they've recalled Kevin Korchinski and Drew Commesso from the Rockford Ice Hogs of the AHL. And before the injury, Connor Bedard, still 20 years old, third season in, although, third season also hurt. A couple of freak injuries there, but regardless, Connor Bedard has 44 points in 31 games during this season and leads the club with 25 assists, 19 goals. And his 19 goals rank second on the team. And for November, Connor Bedard was also the third star of that month. Getting on to Kevin Korchinski. He's only 21. He skated in 32 games with the Rockford Ice Hogs this season. He's got 19 points, 2 goals, 17 assists. He is second on the team and leads all club blue liners with 17 assists this season. So that is, that's going to be a much-needed offensive pick-me-up for the Chicago Blackhawks. Commesso, during his season, Commesso also very young player, 23 years old. In 19 games with Rockford during this season, he has a 6-11-3 record, a .909 save percentage, and a 2.72 goals against. Not bad. Not bad, but let's see. And as I preface this, before I went to break, the Chicago Blackhawks yesterday made a trade. And this is also coming off of the Chicago Blackhawks communications, blackhawks.com. The Blackhawks have traded and acquired. They acquired defensemen Ryan Ellis and Jake Furlong and a 2028 fourth-round pick from the San Jose Sharks in exchange for defenseman Nolan Allen and goaltender Laurent Brossoit and a 2028 seventh-round pick. Okay, a little bit of history here. Brossoit, he was picked up. Where was he picked up from? Well, let's see. This is going great. Well, long and short of it is, Brossoit has been on the Chicago Blackhawks roster for the better part of this past season. And he has not gotten a whole hell of a lot of playing time, if at all. And if I'm not mistaken, maybe a month or two ago, he had requested a trade and a permission to seek a trade for the Chicago Blackhawks in regards to himself, because he still wants to play. And he's been languishing away on the Chicago Blackhawks roster with unable to be a part of the quote-unquote taxi squad. Taxi squad being able to go back and forth between the Blackhawks and the IceHawks. And I'm not exactly sure why they decided to trade Nolan Allen, but in return, the Chicago Blackhawks did get Ryan Ellis and Jake Furlong from San Jose. And from what I can discern from this trade is the fact that they're looking for maybe a little bit more veteranship. I'm just making all sorts of things up here on Big Top Sports with yours truly, Derrick Geyer, on WRMN 1410 AM. But I also think that this trade is going to be able to bolster the Chicago Blackhawks and their defense going forward. Because with the activation of Connor Bedard, and hey, I'm happy that Connor Bedard's coming back. Blackhawks are in a 4-game winning streak. This is a good thing for the Blackhawks. Duh. And my man Dalton Cooper is commenting on YouTube at WRMN Radio. Blackhawks should punt on the season. They aren't going to win the cup. Very true. Another top draft pick would help this roster. Wholeheartedly agree. There was a time that it looked like the Chicago Blackhawks were actually going to make the playoffs. And it looks like with the rejuvenation, if you will, over the last few games, 4 games to be exact, where the Chicago Blackhawks are putting back-to-back wins together, that they're now all of a sudden jumping teams. They are 6th currently in the Western Conference, or I'm sorry, they are currently 6th, 6th in the Central Division of the Western Conference. Are they going to make the playoffs at 43 points right now? Remains to be seen. But it would be nice. Frank Nazar coming back. When he comes back from his taking that slap shot to the face with the full face cage, seeing him, just to get an understanding and an idea of what the Chicago Blackhawks might be. And then if they are going to, quote unquote, punt on this season, what about getting rid of Tyler Bertuzzi? Or not necessarily getting rid of Tyler Bertuzzi, because he's having one of the best seasons that he's ever had in the NHL. But I do also think that with him being around Coach Blashill once again, his game is picked up. and the understanding of how to actually use them has been a huge boon for Tyler Bertuzzi, because he's got career highs in goals already this season. Every goal that he scores from now on is going to be the career high mark that he is going to be setting for himself. And let's see, where were we at before we make it to the break? In 40 games played, he's got Tyler Bertuzzi. Oh my great googly moogly. 22 goals, 12 assists. Good for 34 points on the year. Best marks in goals scored for sure. But you are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. What do you think, Dalton? Do you think that the Chicago Blackhawks should trade Tyler Bertuzzi? Yes, I'm actually talking to the viewers on YouTube right now, as it is the bottom of the hour break. Yeah, I know, it is pretty wild. Are you going to be hosting with Mike today? Or not today, but on Saturday? What's the lineup looking like for you guys tomorrow? Yeah, check Mike's contract. And by the way, for those of you that are watching on YouTube currently and still hanging with me through this bottom of the hour break, the Mike that I'm referring to is Mike Napolitano from On the Rise, which you can listen to or watch on YouTube every Saturday morning from 10 until noon. You know, where you will get all of the knowledge and from whether it be the Ice Hogs, the Wolves, Windy City. But yeah. And then you also have shows like
have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent
The
any
truth
disease.
about
The
Chicago
term natural
sports.
reference is only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Welcome to downtown Elgin, where businesses, community, and creativity come together. The Downtown Neighborhood Association provides valuable, complimentary services to all downtown businesses, organizations, property owners, and residents, helping you gain exposure and thrive. Whether you're already part of the district or exploring a new downtown location, DNA is here to help your vision grow. Join us in creating a vibrant, connected,
that
and
would be pretty
successful downtown Elgin. Call now,
But I'm not exactly sure. I mean, with his contract and everything.
847-488-1456,
So 5.5,
or you can email
27,
info
28.
at downtownelgin.com. As for Jennifer Facala, Downtown Neighborhood Association,
Blackhawks
where
aren't
the
gonna be
heart
going
of business
anywhere.
beats
You know,
strong.
they're not going to be winning the Stanley Cup this season, that's for certain. But
This is Sarah Silver with
at
your
the
Fox
same
Valley
time,
forecast. Brought to you
know,
by
he
Hot
is one of
Hands,
the players that
America's
is
favorite
getting
hand
down below
warmers.
the,
Tonight, rain
or by
likely
the
between
goal
2
crease.
a.m. and 4 a.m.,
And he's
then
getting
snow
those greasy
likely.
goals.
Mostly cloudy with a low
So,
around
who's to say?
32. Chance of precipitation is 70%. Tomorrow, snow before noon, then a chance of snow showers. Mostly cloudy with a high near 35. Currently, it is 41 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the
Yeah,
Talk
it's
of the
kinda
Town,
interesting to see, like, how that
WRMN.
stuff goes. You want to call in and talk
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot.
Got about another
all to
30
squeeze in
seconds
getting
before I go
tax
back
help
on
during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
sports, your thrilling ride. Big time sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland. Football frenzy and hoops so high. Baseball swinging as seasons fly. Hockey blades cutting swift and true. Sports carousel spinning just for you. Big time sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And as I was talking to one of my compatriots here on WRMN radio through the commercial break, at least on WRMN the YouTube.com at WRMN radio. And one of the voices that you will hear on the Rise tomorrow morning from 10 until noon, Mr. Dalton Cooper with Mike Napolitano, or maybe it's Mike Napolitano with Dalton Cooper. I'm not exactly sure these days because, I mean, they just have so many different people going through the studio. Maybe there's Nick Johnston. Geez, I'm not exactly sure who else is on the show. I know it's Mike. I know it's Dalton. I think it might be Nick, but that remains to be seen, or up in the air, if you will. And they follow Fantasy Football Blitz with David Tees. And I am told, I wish I could actually be in studio for this tomorrow with the Fantasy Football Blitz guys, because it is going to be Mr. David Tees and Graham Boter. Yeah, the kid that is a 13-year-old sports. I'm not sure if prodigy would be the word for it or not, but Graham Boter, 13 years old. If you haven't listened to Fantasy Football Blitz with David Tees and or John Payne and or Graham Boter, please do yourself a favor. Tune in tomorrow morning with those two guys, or I'm sorry, the guy and the kid, the teenager, because this is going to be a treat. And not only tune in to Fantasy Football Blitz at 9 a.m., going all the way until 10, but do yourself a favor and tune in on the YouTube tomorrow. YouTube at WRMN radio, because it's going to be a fun show tomorrow. I can't say anymore. I really want you guys to tune in on the tube of yous at WRMN radio, because the inside information that I have with it, it's going to be good. And their show proceeds after the Truth About Chicago Sports with Marcus Mack and one Kyle Long. No, not that Kyle Long. They just happen to share the same name. It's not Kyle Long, the former offensive lineman of the Chicago Bears. But so Kyle Long, Marcus Mack, Truth About Chicago Sports from 8 until 9, 9 until 10. It is the Fantasy Football Blitz guys with David Tees, John Payne, and one 13-year-old Grant Boder. Followed by On the Rise with Mike Napolitano, Dalton Cooper, and one Nick Johnston as well. Oh, and it is Friday. I have no idea. Okay, so with that being said, I said it. Oops, I did it again. I used the word cry. Okay, sorry. Yeah, don't sing. Don't sing. But with that being said, the Chicago Bears are hosting the Green Bay Woodpeckers, the Green Bay Fudge Packers, the Green Bay Packers. That team up north. Maybe I should just call them the team up north like so many other pundits do. Nah, you know what? I have a little bit too much fun with it. But, yes, the Packers and Bears are going to be kicking off tomorrow on Prime Video at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Which, well, if you know, it is 7 o'clock Central Time. What are the odds? So currently the Green Bay Packers are favored in this matchup by 1.5 points. Well, that doesn't seem terrible. Although, I mean, I'm typically speaking, home teams in the past would usually get a 3-point bump for being the home team. Well, in this case, apparently the Packers maybe or should be favored by 4.5. I don't know if that's how you want to look at it. And that's if you're betting on this game. I wouldn't touch this game with a 10-foot pole. I wouldn't touch this game with your pole or your 10-foot pole. Hell to the no on betting this game. The games have been so evenly matched. I do not want to be sweating bets. I just want to be sweating the action that is going to be taking place on the football field with the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. Just for the simple fact that both games have been so entertaining. The rivalry matchup. The utter visceral feelings and emotions that I get from watching the Bears and Packers square off. Hey, and if you want to comment on this matchup or any of the playoff footballs or Blackhawks or Cubs or White Sox or Bulls, please feel free to call in at 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. You could also watch me on youtube.com/@WRMN Radio. That's youtube.com WRMN Radio. Yeah, but to I mean, going and thinking and hoping and praying and worrying whether or not the Chicago Bears are going to be pulling this game out. It's much ado about nothing. Very beginning of the week, I was nervous about this game. Nervous about the Packers. Oh, why couldn't it have been the Los Angeles Rams? Why did the Philadelphia Eagles have to sit their players and lose and still keep the number 3 seed? Why? You know what? This is gravy. This season has been a success for the Chicago Bears. And despite what you might be thinking about Dennis Allen's defense, it's still been a good one. The Bears defense will pick the ball off tomorrow or cause fumbles tomorrow. 2. They will get 2 turnovers from the Packers tomorrow. And I do wholeheartedly believe that the Bears will pull this out. I know. I just I'm talking around in circles and I'm hemming and hawing. And whether or not the Chicago Bears are going to pull through and have a good game and all of that fun Smurf stuff. Bears should win. Bears absolutely should win. Ben Johnson, Mr. Dr. Strange, Scooby-Doo that first quarter Smurf offense. Scooby-Doo that Smurf to where the offense is going to come out with a purpose. I know that the Bears have a purpose tomorrow. They've been talking about themselves this week, unlike the Green Bay Woodpeckers, the Green Bay Fudge Packers, the Green Bay Pee-Pee Packers. And I mean that as far as their green and gold colors. Their colors look like baby poo and baby pee. In my eyes, I mean, maybe I just took it a step too far. I don't have anyone to rein me in here. But no one's crashing through the door, so that's a good thing. A little bit more about this matchup and the rest of the NFL playoff slate on the other side of this break. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer, back in a few.
At Britain's Touchless Car Wash, they know life gets busy. That's why they're here 24/7 to keep your car looking spotless, fast, and easy. Their advanced brush-free wash technology delivers a sparkling clean without a single scratch because they treat your car like it's their own. Here's the best part. Right now, you can get a free car wash just for joining their text club. It's simple. Just text BRITT to 30400, and your first wash is on them. Britain's Touchless Car Wash has 2 convenient locations, 1923 Larkin Avenue in Elgin and 555 Willow in West Dundee. They're proud to keep your car clean while giving back to our community. Text BRITT to 30400. That's BRITT to 30400. Now for your free car wash, and see why Britain's Touchless Car Wash is the fast, gentle, and reliable choice.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever, best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Hi, this is Sherry Aschenbrenner, Vice President of Dementia Friendly Elgin Area. Everyone knows somebody living with dementia. Caregivers and friends of those with dementia are always welcome at our Elgin Area Memory Cafe, always the second Tuesday of every month at 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. at the South Elgin Public Works Building, 1000 Bowes Road in South Elgin. Also, Dementia Friendly Elgin Area gives free 20-minute dementia awareness trainings to local businesses, church groups, to bunco groups. Just invite us. If you'd like to get put on Sherry's senior email blast list, please email us at dfelist@gmail.com. Also, you can go and visit our website at dementiafriendlyelginarea.org.
Tune in to Sherry's Senior Moments radio show on the second Thursday of each month at 9:05 a.m. until 10 a.m. on WRMN AM 1410, WRMN Radio app, or WRMN Radio on YouTube. That's Sherry's Senior Moments, providing resources and information for our seniors in the community.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And going around the NFL playoffs and the betting lines, and this is coming to you from FanDuel.com. Okay, so in the early game for tomorrow's wild card playoff matchup between the Los Angeles Rams at the Carolina Panthers. Come on, Carolina. Come on, Carolina. Just saying. Okay, the Rams. Okay, the spread is 10.5 going on the Rams side. If 10.5, the Rams are favored to win by 10.5 points. The money line is at minus 620 for the Rams. Plus 460 for Carolina. The over-under is 46.5 points. Because I do not bet, I am not going to make any predictions as far as that goes. But, yeah. Next game on tomorrow's slate is, of course, the Green Bay Woodpeckers, Fudge Packers against the Chicago Bears, and that is taking place at 7:01 Central Time. And the Green Bay Packers are favored by 1.5. The money line is set to net minus 126 on Green Bay, plus 108 on the Bears. The over-under for that game is 44.5. The over is set at 44.5 at minus 115, and under 44.5 at minus 105. So I'm thinking a little bit more money can be made on the Bears on that line right there. Going into Sunday's game with Buffalo at Jacksonville. That Buffalo is favored at minus 1.5. They have a plus 100 on them. Jacksonville at plus 1.5, and their bet is minus 122. Oh, I'm sorry, I messed that up. Minus 1.5 for Buffalo, plus, so Jacksonville is actually the Jacksonville is the underdog on that. The money line is minus 106 on the Bills, minus 110 for Jacksonville. And then the over-under for that is 51.5. Going all the way out to Philly, where San Fran is taking on the Philadelphia Eagles at 3:31 Central Time. San Fran is a plus 5.5. The Eagles are at minus 5.5. San Francisco is on the money line at plus 220. Philadelphia Eagles minus 270. The over-under on that is 44.5. Moving on to the Los Angeles Chargers at the New England Patriots, the primetime Sunday night matchup. Los Angeles Rams are a plus 3.5 with a minus 110. New England Patriots are sitting at a 3.5 point favorite there. They are sitting at minus 110. As far as the money line goes, the Los Angeles Chargers are sitting at plus 160. New England minus 190. I don't think there's a snowball's chance in hell that the Los Angeles Chargers win this game, but what do I know? This is the NFL. This is playoff weekend. Anything can happen. And the over-under for the Los Angeles Chargers at the New England Patriots is set at 46.5. Going into really one of the... If I am a fan of the Houston Texans or the Pittsburgh Steelers, I absolutely hate this Monday night game. But, I mean, it is Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers at home taking on the Houston Texans. The Texans are minus 3 at minus 105 betting line. Pittsburgh plus 3 at a minus 115. And on the money line, it is minus 162 for the Houston Texans and plus 136 for the Steelers. The over-under in this game is 38.5. And if I had my druthers or if I had my way, I would wholeheartedly think that the Houston Texans are going to whoop on the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I don't know. It still seems like Aaron Rodgers has fuel left in his tank. But at the same time, this also might be the game that kind of decides whether or not Mike Tomlin is going to be coming back after the season. If Houston Texans come into Pittsburgh or go into Pittsburgh and beat the Steelers, pretty sure two things are going to happen. Aaron Rodgers is going to retire, and Mike Tomlin is going to get fired, which would create a very interesting buzz throughout the rest of the NFL as far as potential coaching candidates as well, because you already know John Harbaugh is out there. You already know there are now 8 teams without head coaches after the firing of Mike McDaniel down there in Miami and the Dolphins. I do believe that there are another couple of playoff teams that have coaches on the hot seat, one of which being Mike Tomlin. The other, that team to the north, Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay Packers. I do wholeheartedly believe that. So, with that being said, it'll be an interesting Monday or Tuesday after this slate of wild card playoff games are going to be concluded. Now, don't forget, tomorrow morning, it is going to be The Truth About Chicago Sports with Marcus Mack and Kyle Long from 8 until 9. It is Fantasy Football Blitz with David Tees and Graham Boter. Maybe John Payne as well. I'm not exactly sure. But tune in for that. Definitely tune in for that. Hey, Jeff, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in. And then from 10 until noon, it will be On the Rise with Mike Napolitano, Dalton Cooper, and Nick Johnston. I don't like your prediction there on the tube of views, Jeff. Jeff is saying Packers 28, Bears 17. Your predictions have been wrong for the rivalries for these past 3 games, so I'm not going to buy that. I am not buying it. Hey, and thank you to my partners this week on Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. yesterday with Matt Cozy coming in from Locked On Cubs, Elliot the L Train Serrano, and Bob Mariner. Have a great weekend.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the better business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.